How can I be an African if I owe my being to the hills and the valleys, the mountains and the glades, the rivers, the deserts, the trees, the flowers, the seas, and ever changing seasons that defines the face of our native land? How can I be an African if I forget the hand that took me in when my country was in hostile apartheid situation, when I had nowhere to hide for flying bullets and I had to hide for my life that was hunted? How can I be an African if I torture my brothers in my country? They helped me to fight for, to have my freedom. How can I, the African hand that fed me while at the same time risked their own life to keep me safe? I'm African how if I chase and I tell another African that my country is not for them in an African country. At times and in fear, I have wondered whether I should have conceded equal citizenship of our country to the leopard and the lion, the elephant and the springbok, the hyena, the black mamba, and the pestilential mosquito. Today, as a country, we keep an inaudible silence about these ancestors, heroes and heroines of the generation that lived and fought with us to fair freedom of this African country. We have seen our country torn asunder as these, all of whom are my people, engage one another in a titanic battle. They want to redress a wrong that had been caused by one to another and the other, to defend the indefensible. We know what it is signifies when race and color are used to determine who is human and who is subhuman. All I know, we are one. We are African brothers and sisters whom we are demarcated by borders, whom we were made not to love one another, yet we are all sons and daughters of the African soil. The freedom we have fought for many years have a constitution whose adoption we celebrated constitute an unequivocal statement that we refuse to accept that our Africanness shall be defined by our race, our color, our gender, or our historical origins. It is a firm assertion made by ourselves that South Africa belongs to all who live in it legally so. It gives concrete expression to the sentiment we share as Africans and will defend to the death that people shall govern. It recognizes the fact that dignity of the individual is both an objective which society must pursue and is a goal which cannot be separated from the material well-being of that individual. It seeks to create a situation in which all our people shall be free from fear, including the fear of the oppression of one national group by the other, the fear of disempowerment of one social echelon by another, the fear of use of state power to deny anybody their fundamental human rights, and the fear of tyranny. It aimed to open the doors so that those who are disadvantaged can assume their place in society as equals with their fellow human beings without regard to color, to race, to gender, to age, or to geographic dispersal. Together as Africans, with the best in the world, we too are prone to pettiness, to petulance, selfishness, and short-sightedness. But it seems to have happened that we looked at ourselves and said the time had come that we make a superhuman effort to be other than human, to respond to the call to create for ourselves a glorious future. The dismal shame of poverty, suffering, and human degradation of this country is a blight that we share. We are Africans. I am an African. They are Africans. I am the son of the soil, king of the Sahara, cousin of the desert. I am your cousin. I am Aaron Leekay.